You know, it's hard to remember that it's been 2 years ago since I was at home one night and I told my wife that I was thinking about running for a political office, and she said, "Yes, dear." And I said, "You know, I think I'm going to run for Congress." "Yes, dear." And I went and told my daughters, and they took me more seriously. They said, "We're not moving to Washington." And I said, "Well, I think that may be getting a little farther ahead of the equation than what we need to." But you know, when I stood up, when I had thought about what this nation was going through and the directions this administration was carrying us, and the Congress just going right along with the administration, that as a history teacher I knew that if someone doesn't stand up and offer another opinion, then the ones that are in charge automatically win. And they think they do a good job. So I had no idea when I said I was going to run for Congress that this ex-textile worker and this school teacher could make a difference. And I would not have made a difference if it had not been for people throughout this district that stood up with me. And it's so humbling to think that the people that gave of themselves, their time and efforts that meant so much to our campaign, and came to me after the recounts were done and said, "We need for you to do it again." And we never really stopped running, but this past Monday we officially announced that we're running again. And for all the issues, that got me into this the first time, they're still there. And I just want to assure everybody that the ex-textile worker and the school teacher who is not a politician, who is tired of the partisanship in Washington, who is tired of where conventional wisdom seems to take place over common sense in Washington, who thinks this country is facing some of the greatest challenges in our history, that one person from the 8th District can make a difference, but we've got to change that voice. If you were here last year for the dinner, and I was, you knew something special was in the air. And that something special did take place in Richmond County as Richmond County took this congressional race in this county from the red back to the blue comfortably. And what a real boost for my campaign, and almost coming close. It would never happen if it hadn't been for Richmond County. And when I'm here considering the legacy of who we're honoring tonight, and for the family of former Congressman Dean, I just want to say that one of the great legacies my parents gave to me was that they refused to sign the Southern Manifesto. And they imparted in my brother and myself the kind of thinking that your Congressman Dean had. And you know, we were studying in civics this week. Richmond County has other great members. We were studying this past week former Chief Justice Henry Fry from Richmond County. And with a great deal of pride, I can tell my students, "Hey, he's from Richmond County." And I've talked to him, and he's a great man. But we do have a work cut out for us, and Speaker Hackney left off one change that's taking place now, because we've got a congressman from the 8th District who wants people to think he's a Democrat now. After 8 years of supporting this administration, 97% of the time in lockstep, he's spending a lot of time and effort trying to convince people he's a Democrat. Well, remember, there's only one true Democrat running in this race, and he's speaking to you tonight. And if we want someone who will vote that way, from the heart, instead of knowing somebody is watching him, then we need to elect Larry Kissel and the We campaign that I represent. I want to finish up by saying just real quick, and once again, I appreciate it, and I know that Hamlet is really proud, and I'm very tickled that we're finally going to get in Richmond County, it looks like, maybe, the outpatient VA clinic that's been talked about for so many years. Now, some people might believe it when we see it, but when somebody starts to give credit for that, I'll tell you who gets the credit. It's the people sitting out here and the people who voted last time to go blue, and the Democratic Congress who finally found the money to make this happen. And don't let anybody forget that. And I had privilege of seeing a little fundraising letter that my opponent had sent out back early in the spring, who blamed the close election on liberal, military-hating outsiders. And you know, when I looked at the results of Richmond County and saw the votes that we got, I didn't realize there were so many liberal, military-hating outsiders in Richmond County. So let's go find a bunch more. Because as the speakers have said earlier, it's not going to be easy, but it's important. I thank you for your support, and I'm looking forward to this coming year. Thank you.